All right, let's jump right into a fantastic story we're exploring today. It's called The Most Confident Fool in the Village. And trust me, it's a brilliant look at the huge difference between just being loud and actually being wise. I mean, you know the type, right? That person who is just so spectacularly wrong about something, but they say it with so much conviction that for a second you almost start to doubt yourself. Well, get ready because we're about to meet the absolute champion. So let's meet the man of the hour. In a quiet little village, you've got your farmers, your teachers, and then you've got Mahesh. Now, Mahesh didn't really have a job, but what he did have was opinions. Lots and lots of very, very loud opinions. And this quote says it all. This was his actual motto. He didn't just have confidence, he had a dangerous, overflowing surplus of it, and he wasn't afraid to let everyone know. Okay, so let's watch this expert in action. This is where Mahesh decides to unleash his genius on the world, and it plays out as, well, a total comedy of errors. First up on his list of brilliant ideas, he was going to revolutionize the village poultry scene. He actually gathered everyone for a big announcement, promising he'd found a way to change their lives forever. And his grand idea was, well, you gotta hear this. He proposed they paint a single egg and place it in front of each chicken. His theory? The chicken would get jealous, feel competitive, and pop out a second egg just to prove it could. Seriously. So what do you think happened? Yeah, exactly that. Not only did the chickens not lay more eggs, they got so stressed out they stopped laying eggs altogether. One of them even chased him around the coop. Needless to say, his poultry consulting career was over. But you think a little poultry rebellion is going to stop Mahesh? No way. He just dusted himself off and pivoted to his next field of expertise, weather forecasting. And of course, he didn't need any fancy equipment. His forecasting method was, let's just say it was revolutionary. It was all based on his knees. A twinge in the left knee meant rain. A pain in the right meant a big storm. And if both knees were acting up, obviously, a festival was coming. It's just science, right? So one day, his left knee starts aching. He runs out, yelling, "Rain is coming!" The villagers panic, grabbing their laundry off the line. And then, nothing. Blue skies. 3 days later, though, it did rain. And Mahesh, he took a victory lap, telling everyone, see, prediction just requires a little patience. All right, so he's failed at chickens and clouds. What's next on the career path? Obviously, he's going to become a fitness trainer. And naturally, he had a groundbreaking philosophy that would make jogging obsolete. His big fitness secret? Running is totally pointless. Why waste all that energy moving forward when you can just run in place and let the planet's rotation carry you to your destination? He even gathered the village kids to demonstrate. So he demonstrates this, right? Jogs on the spot for 10 minutes, gets completely gassed, and when the kids ask if they've gotten anywhere yet, he pants and says, "Yes, we have arrived spiritually." Okay, so after all these, let's call them learning experiences, the story takes a bit of a turn. This is that moment where everything starts to change for Mahesh. One evening, for the first time, he's just sitting by himself, no audience, and he starts to look around. He sees people working together, learning new things, getting better, and it hits him. He's the only one who's completely stuck. And that's when it happens. This little kid walks up to him and asks the simplest, most devastatingly honest question. It's the kind of question that just slices right through all the bluster and noise. And you know what? For the first time ever, Mahesh didn't have a confident, snappy comeback. He just told the truth. He confessed that he wasn't really confident at all. He was just afraid. Afraid that if people knew he didn't have the answers, they wouldn't respect him. And that one honest moment, it becomes the key that unlocks a completely new life for him. Let's look at how that one tiny admission turned everything around. He started with the most powerful words he could learn. I don't know. From there, it was a pretty simple playbook. He stopped talking and started asking questions. He started listening instead of lecturing. And for the first time, he actually started helping out in meaningful ways. And you know what's amazing? The villagers actually started to like him more. Not because he was the expert, but because he was finally just real. They were drawn to his honesty, not his empty confidence. So what's the big lesson here in Mahesh's story? It really draws a perfect line in the sand between two very different kinds of confidence.
On one side, you've got that empty confidence Mahesh started with. It's just loud noise and it leads nowhere. But then you have true confidence, which isn't about having all the answers. It's about being honest and having the courage to learn.
It all boils down to this one powerful idea. Sometimes the absolute smartest, most courageous thing you can say is simply, I don't know. Because that's not an ending. It's the beginning of actually finding an answer. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Where in your own life, at work, in a hobby, anywhere, could saying, I don't know, not be a weakness, but a superpower that opens up a brand new door to learning something amazing? It's a powerful thought to end on.